Time to mix up a protein shake. Alright, so. Hey guys, Justin here. I just want to say thank you for posting your questions, sharing, and liking. Really appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and get to this and start answering your questions now. Jamie asks, I just returned from Mexico. When will my stool regain its normal form? A shot of lime juice and a shot of espresso. Mix them together and just take them down. You'll be good. Carrie Ann asks, can one make their calves smaller? I think it's really tricky to actually make your calves smaller. I think you're actually genetically predisposed to a calf size. You can make them a little bit bigger, but it's hard to as well. So ways to not work your calves while you're working your legs, I think, is leg curls and leg extensions on the machines. That would help out, but it's really hard to do. Sarah, how can I work out my butt without building my thighs? On single leg RDLs, supine hip extensions, single leg supine hip extensions, and then straight leg deadlifts. If you got a strong enough back and core, good mornings are pretty good as well. Just make sure that you put your weight on your toes to midfoot, so on the front half of your feet, and that'll really engage your hamstrings and your glutes. Michelle asks, I know cardio is probably the best to help with, but what should I watch in my diet to help with weight loss? I think the best thing you can do to do nutritionally with your weight loss is to watch your carbs. 80 to 90% of your weight loss is as a result of your nutrition and your meal planning. Watching your carbs is going to take care of a lot of that. The way I like to describe it is if you divide your plates up into 3 pieces. So you got your fats, your proteins, and your green veggies. Eggs, bacon, and a veggie like kale, asparagus, or spinach. I'll cook the bacon, then I'll throw the eggs and the veggies in there, and then I'll cook it in the fat. So then I got my fat, protein, and veggies. The afternoon and evening, typically it's a meat with a veggie. And what I'll do is I'll cook the meat, like chicken for instance, and then I will cook the veggies in butter or coconut oil. So then again, I have my greens, my fats, and my proteins. All right, Dana asks, what is the best way to cut out soda from a diet? It's hard for a lot of people. Cutting out soda, nothing like just jumping into it. So I'm a big believer if your goal is big enough, you're going to do whatever it takes to get to that goal. I would recommend just getting off of it. If you can't, wean yourself off of it. Going cold turkey or weaning off of it, but there's really no substitute. Get it off of it. It's going to help you out a lot, especially with weight loss. Joe asks, or he says, hey man, I was watching your video and I'm really interested in knowing what it is you do to have such great hair. Well, thank you, Joe. A lot of people give me shit for my hair. It's in a growing state, so for anybody who's grown out their hair from short to long, it's a process. You go through a lot of hard stages and you get a lot of shit for it. So used to wear a lot of hats, now I tie it back or I use hairspray. Big sexy hair. Missy asks, when trying to lose weight and get fit, do you believe it is better to do less reps with more weight or more reps with less weight? The best way to go is higher reps, less weight, especially if you're just starting to train. If you've been acclimated to training for some time, then you may be able to go in the mid-range, but I recommend going more towards the higher, 12 to 15 reps with 1.5 to 2 minutes in between each set and doing some type of active recovery in between those sets. So if you're going from squats, then you can go into push-ups to abdominals and then go back to those squats. Being constantly active, constantly moving, and then staying within that rep range and rest interval, you should be good. All right, Emerson asks, I would like for you to discuss what can be done at home for those who are busy and don't have the time to go to the gym. Best thing for you to do is investing into the TRX suspension training system. I mean, that's hands down the best piece of equipment. You can train anywhere. You can go in the park, hook it up to a tree, or you can attach it to your door. It allows you to work the back, which is really hard to do with just body weight. Very versatile piece of equipment. I have another question relating to that. She said she lost a ton of weight after having a baby. She was nursing for 3 months, then stopped, and she gained all the weight back. So she doesn't have time to work out, but what can she do at home to get her ass in shape? Those are her words. So I think the best way to get your ass in shape is really just, again, with that TRX suspension training system and or high intensity interval training. Going more in depth with the high intensity interval training, it's typically 30 seconds of work and then 30 seconds of rest, and you'll do that for anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes, and it's all meant to just rev you up and really just push you to your limits. So you do that for a period of time. You do anywhere from 3 to 6 exercises during that whole time, and that could range from burpees, squats, push-ups, abdominals, planks, all sorts of things. So you come up with this mixture of exercises. You do that for 10 to 20 minutes, and then you want to take a day off in between. The whole point of high intensity interval training is to burn fat afterwards. It's a great way to lose weight. All right, so a couple questions I forgot to add in here. This is a woman who was recently out of a 5-year relationship. She wanted to get back in shape and reinvent herself, so she started working out and eating, but then she got an eating disorder through this whole process. So she became bulimic and started throwing up everything that she was eating, lost a lot of weight, but not in a healthy way. So this time around, she really wants to overcome this eating disorder, and she's asking, how do I overcome this and lose weight and get fit the healthy way without an eating disorder? Eating disorders are really tricky, and they're really something that I think you constantly have to deal with. I don't have much experience personally with eating disorders. I've had clients who've gone through them, but I'm going to post a friend who is a wellness coach and a nutritionist as well. Very smart, and she's very open about her own eating disorders and how she overcomes them. She acknowledges it, and she's very open, and I think she would be someone great to follow as well as to get in contact with to seek her advice, because I think she would have much more information in regards to this than I would. So I hope that'll lead you down a good road, and I wish you all the best. I got one from my blog, l4al.com. His name is Reich. I'm a bodybuilder and fitness model. Glutes are very important to me, seeing as how it's the largest muscle on the body, and it's where a lot of my strength comes from. I have to say, bro, your ass is huge. Thanks. Has it always been big like that? Yes, it has for a long time. I don't know, but it's always been this big. I did get voted best ass in high school, so I had that going for me. If not, what did you do to improve the size of it? Around what age did you notice it getting bigger? I asked because I want to be the best athlete I can be. All right, so what age did I don't necessarily have an age of which I noticed my ass getting bigger, but I played hockey since I was like 5 or 6, and then I went into football in middle school, started training with weights around that time, and really just focused on squats, eating, and lots of squats. So to your question, I recommend doing squats, going in more in depth with the squats. It's really important how you displace your weight. When you have your feet flat and you're doing squats, you want to make sure that you're on the back half of your feet when you're displacing your weight, because that's going to really engage your hamstrings. That's really going to engage your glutes. So that's what I recommend for form. I recommend also going heavy weight in order to push mass, and also eat to train. So you want to make sure that you're eating a lot, but you got to make sure you're training a lot in order to suffice those calories. So kind of recap on that, make sure your form on your squats and your weight displacement is on your heels to midfoot while keeping your feet flat. And then also driving through the hips and make sure you squeeze your butt. And then also heavy weight, long sets, long rest in between sets. 3 to 4 minutes, maybe even 5 minutes in between each set, and going for shorter rep counts, 3 to 6, maybe even 6 to 8 reps, but that's going to really build up the mass. And then eat a lot. You got to make sure you eat a lot of calories in order to be able to build that muscle. So hope that answers your question. And I got one more. Bill asks, how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? Bill's one of my best friends. Bill, fuck off.
Bill,
fuck off.
Everyone, I lost count around 240, 250. I gave up. I let it go. I don't know how many licks it takes to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop. If anybody knows, let me know. I would just like to say thank you guys for watching. Like if you like, share if you want to share. I will be posting more videos here in the near future. Until then, take care.